Hey everyone, Hudson here, and welcome back to another video. Today, I will be showing you how to write articles that earn $100 using my quick and easy 5-step process. This method works on any platform and can be applied to any type of content you create online. One of my goals for 2023 is to make these videos as short and value-packed as possible, so let's get right into it. So to start things off, here's a little background on how articles actually make money. It's my long-standing belief that attention is the currency of the future. So no matter the platform, the longer you can get readers to read your writing, the more money you'll make in the long run. The method I'm about to share with you works on any platform, regardless of the pay structure. So whether you earn from ads on your own blog, selling products or services on your social media accounts or website, or simply by the read time on platforms like Medium or Newsbreak, the longer you can keep readers' attention, the more money you'll earn in the long run. And when you start looking at writing as a full-time job, as opposed to a hobby or side hustle, being able to sit down and write an article that earns $100 each day is a great place to start. If you stick around to the end of this video, I'll be showing you exactly where to download the template we will be going over in this video. It'll be 100% free. I hope it helps you begin to write articles that consistently earn $100 to $1,000 plus, regardless of the platform. This is a method I personally use and saw my earnings skyrocket when I began implementing it. Let's hop onto my computer where I will screen share and break down exactly how I structure my articles to earn as much attention and dollars as possible. Hello and welcome to my computer. What you see here is a Notion template I made that gives you literally everything you need to write what I call a $100 article. It's part of a larger system I use called the Mindful Content Organization System, but more on that later. The foundation of this template is this: writing is storytelling. No matter the platform, length, or topic, it's all about captivating your audience through compelling storytelling. But before you can start telling your story, you need the reader to click on your article, which brings us to step number 1 of the 5-step process, which is arguably the most important one, the headline. I like to think of articles as a storefront, and the headline is the sign outside. When you walk into any store, it needs to be attractive, the sign needs to be eye-catching, and you need to see some value in the front window. Headlines, just like anything else, are a skill developed over time. I won't go too deep into how to write headlines here, as it's a skill just like anything else, because I have another video on that very topic, which should be popping up either here or here. So if you're interested in how to write headlines and more importantly, how to develop the skill of writing continually amazing headlines, you can watch that video after this one. For now, I'll show you a few best practices as well as a free AI tool that helps you to analyze your headlines and point you in the right direction. So as you can see here, some of the best practices I found are to add numbers. Headlines that contain numbers always seem to perform better. Whether it be money, views, or tips, numbers are a great practice, as well as power words. I have a list here of some power words I use. And lastly is a great tool I use, which is CoSchedule's headline analyzer tool. It uses AI to gather intel from all the top performing headlines on the internet to show you a structure that generally performs well. So what you're going to do is copy and paste your headline into here, and it will tell you your score, as well as some of the key elements that contribute to that score. This tool is free. You do need to make an account to be able to use it. There's also a paid version, but I don't use the paid version, to be honest. This one works just fine. My piece of advice for this would be to experiment and aim for a score above 70. Next, we have the subtitle, which, to be honest, is not too important to me. Generally, I just try to tell the reader what they can expect within the article. Add your image here. You select the drop-down menu here. I have some best practices for the image. Now what I try to do is essentially either match the feeling of the article I want to convey. So if it's an article about making money, I want to make it exciting and show the reader how they can make money. If it's about health and fitness, show somebody exercising, just keep it really simple. You can also contrast the feeling of the headline to create some intrigue, or you can pick one word from the headline and show an image of that. I have added a link here to Unsplash, which is my favorite stock website for stock images. And as I said, try not to overthink the image too much when it comes to articles. 90% of what the reader will be paying attention to is the headline itself. Next, we are going to dive into the introduction. So I would say that the most important aspect of the article is the headline, just because that is what opens up the potential for your article to actually be read. If you don't have an intriguing headline, then you could have written the most amazing article in the world, but nobody will read it. Next is the introduction, because it hooks the reader into actually investing their attention into your article. So to keep things super simple, what I like to do is within the introduction, for one, I keep it short, and two, I want to introduce a what, a why, and pose a question. What's it about? Why should readers care? What question needs answering? So if we use an example from an article, I've used this template for this one here. So you can see we have the headline here. And then if we go down to the introduction, what's it about? The article is, you can tell from the headline already, they got a taste of the what. It's about me trying Mr. Beast's routine. And I started off by giving a little background on him here, and I start more with the why. So I start with the value of hard work, how this pertains to Mr. Beast, and why it's important for his business. Then I get into the what here. So the what is a quote from Mr. Beast here on his routine, and then I kind of pose a question here of how this would work and what the results might be. I pose a question at the end here. Here's how Mr. Beast's burnout routine actually prevents burnout. Throughout this introduction, I added the why in the beginning, why it's important, why it can be helpful to the reader, then the what, and then finally I posed a question that needs answering. And as a general rule of thumb, if you can mix in a combination of first, second, and third person, that will create a very diverse image, almost like a 3D image compared to a 2D or 1D. And at the end, a cliffhanger is always a great way to end it. In general, the introduction itself acts as a cliffhanger. Okay, then what I always like to do is, after the introduction, they're hooked, they need an answer to the question, they understand what they will be looking for. I like to introduce a little bit of background. So any good story starts at the beginning, and in the beginning, generally, you need to set the scene. In the first paragraph, I like to set the scene. You can do this with a couple of different ways. Provide history or background, explain the what or the why in further detail, and just as a general rule of thumb, it's always best to show and don't tell. We're going to go into the second paragraph, which is going to be essentially creating intrigue. You're going to lead up to the answer, but you're not going to answer it quite yet. For one, this gets your reader more engaged in the article, but one way I do this is I lead up to the answer. I might create some opposing views, explain the answer, why it's important. You're basically going to introduce the idea of the answer, but not answer it quite yet. You want to paint a picture, but don't lead them on for too long. So in the third paragraph, we give them what they want. Give the people what they want. So you provide the answer the reader came for, or you tell the story you promised in your introduction. I kind of think of articles as either question and answer or a story. So it's either, and they're essentially the same thing. So it's either, what's the answer to this? Here's the answer. Or here's how this happened. Here's the story. So during this part, don't skimp out or withhold anything. Give them everything they wanted and more. So if you promised 5 tips on X, you give them the best 5 tips and maybe even a bonus. If your headline reads how to do this, you tell them exactly how and maybe provide some resources as well. This is your chance to exceed your readers' expectations. They trusted you enough to read up until the midway point of the article. So now is the time to show them that they can continue to trust you in the future. And this will come in super handy at the end when we introduce our call to action. If you go back to my article here, you can see I give everything that they need. And then I've added another paragraph here that goes into a little bit deeper, which brings us to an optional paragraph which is I gave you the thing you came for. Here's this additional information that might be helpful to you as well. So this can add what it means to you, how or why it's important, additional resources, how it differed from original perspectives. If there's more to add here, add it. That's optional, but add it if you have it. It increases the read time and also provides more value to the reader, which is why they clicked on the article. They didn't click on the article because they want to do you a favor. They did it because you offered something of value to them. They've done that. You gave them the gift. You told the story. You provided value. Now it's time to wrap things up, tie a bow on your story. So offer key takeaways, summarize what was learned, help solidify what they learned into a list so they can remember it. If they provide something that's helpful at the end, that can kind of give me a macro level of the information, I'm probably more likely to go back to the story to expand on each of those points. So it's the same in a YouTube video. You'll see in this one, my YouTube video that you're watching right now, I added a timestamps. For one, it's helpful, so you don't have to watch the whole video if you don't want, but also I believe that it helps you to get the answers you're looking for, and in turn, you spend more time on the video because maybe you'll bounce around through a couple more answers. Giving timestamps or a summary is actually a way that you kind of like split up the content into chunks and allow the reader to consume it at their own pace. And then the last part here is the call to action. So if the reader's at the end of your story, they likely have read your story and they like it and they like you. So now's the time to ask them for something in return. This could be subscribe to my blog or my channel, follow me, check out my website, or you can offer them something that they might like that in turn will help you. So for me, in this article, I'm asking them to sign up for Medium. Maybe they found this because Mr. Beast is super popular on Google or somewhere else, and they want to sign up for Medium because they like the story, they want to read more. So I'd love you to use my referral link. So I have that, and then also I have a link to my online store where you can download some products for free, which is always nice. That's the call to action. I also have a list of general formatting tips here. So as I said at the beginning, when I was talking about the headline, I have another video which is going to pop up here, which I outline all these in further detail. To summarize these tips, we have the headline, which is the storefront, gets the reader in the door. We have the introduction, which introduces a what, why, and poses a question. We have the first paragraph, which introduces some background, it sets the scene. We have the second paragraph, which leads up to the answer. I'm going to tell you the answer, but not quite yet. Then we tell them the answer. We give them exactly what they came for. We over-deliver. And then finally, the conclusion, like the end of it, the like the back end of the arc is you wrap everything up, you tie a bow on it, you offer final thoughts, and then you hit them with a call to action where you ask for something. So that is it for my quick and easy 5-step process for writing $100 articles. With all that said, obviously not every article you write will earn you $100, but some will earn you much, much more. Due to the compiling nature of having a library of content, regardless of the platform, I've always found that aiming for $100 per article builds a great foundation for an income as a full-time writer. If you aim to captivate your readers, it not only equals more attention, which equals more money, it also builds a trust with your readers. Remember to pose a question, tell a story, and when it's time to answer it, over-deliver. In doing that, you'll build an audience of loyal readers who trust you and will continue to invest their attention into your content in the future. And finally, to hammer this point home and prove that it can be applied to any piece of content you create online, you may have noticed that I use this same structure while filming this video. If you don't believe me, go back to the intro and watch it again. To reward your attention, and as I promised at the beginning of this video, you can download a free copy of the $100 template we went over today in the description below. It's actually part of a complete Notion workspace I created called the Mindful Content Organization System. Within the template, you'll find a code for 25% off. This system helped me quit my 9-to-5 and ultimately fulfill my dream of writing full-time. I hope it helps you do the same. That's it for me. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.